Looking really forward in just a moment to talk to this lady celebrating over 60 years in the acting business. Soap stalwart, living legend, June Brown. And we say happy Christmas to her very shortly. Talking to June Brown about love and her life and sadness and tragedy as well. But also the whole idea of Andy was talking there about dementia. You play a big role in representing the Alzheimer's Society and...
No, not exactly the Alzheimer's. It's dementia with Lewy bodies, which is one of the, but Alzheimer's 60%, and this other one is 20%, and small vein dementia is another 20%. But you see, I'm very interested in natural remedies, and I read that they did experiments in California, I think it was, or the University of Los Angeles, and with mice, and they gave them Alzheimer's tangles, and they fed them with curcumin, half of them. And curcumin is 98% turmeric, and those tangles cleared up. So I am a patron of this Lewy Body Dementia Society, and I spoke to the professor who was doing it, and I asked him, I said, it'd be very interesting to know how many people, Asian people, get dementia. And he said, not very many. And I asked a girl in a petrol station, a young Asian girl, the same thing 2 or 3 days later, and she said, not very many. So I put turmeric on all my meat, fish, eggs, and I put cinnamon.
You just need a razor curry there, but that's what this research and this development, research and development that the government have been pledged to for the next few years.
Well, I
hopefully
hope
these are the sort of things that they will find out and they will be able to establish.
They do chemical things all the time.
I think they'll be looking at everything.
They will look at everything, which is good.
I was thinking of writing to the Minister of Health.
Yeah, well, they need lobbying.
Bother with the letter.
Well, they'll get between you and Arlene Phillips, Fiona Phillips, and Ruth Langsford. It'll all happen. We'll talk more after this competition.
Sorry.
But June's enjoying our view. Do you like the view?
Yes, it's a beautiful view. It's lovely.
It's lovely and Christmassy.
It took me by surprise.
Well, you'll take a lot of people by surprise with your autobiography here, Before the Year Dot, because people think they know somebody because of the character they play. And then the lovely thing about books like this, you open them up and they're full of pictures. And, you know, here's June as a young actress, well before the dot cotton years, and there's lots of pictures here. Just to see some more there, you know, of her, just absolutely, and you know, a lot of people won't have realised that there was a life before Dot for you.
People have asked me if I did anything before it, so, you know, because some people say, oh, I could play your part, because it's, and I think, well, actually, no, it's quite difficult to look natural, if you know what I mean. Yes. To look as if you're not acting.
And when we see you there, such a young actress, was that something you'd always aspired to as a young girl? Did you have a theatrical background?
No, it was sheer accident. Yes, I just happened to be in the Wrens, didn't know what I was going to do afterwards because I'd wanted to do something medical in a sort of way, you know, osteopathy or biology. And I was in a play just by accident in Southern Command because the war was over, and so we entertained the troops, as it were, and we did a play called Call It a Day, and I played this young girl in it, and we toured around Southern Command, and it all seemed very nice life. And I was very cross, though, because I was playing this young girl madly in love with an artist who she'd met in the woods, and the sailors used to laugh. And I couldn't understand how they could be so insensitive, but of course it was a comedy. I didn't realise it at the time, and that it was right that I got laughs, and I got laughs because
so you
I
were
was
playing
truthful.
It right. Yeah,
because I was truthful.
You were playing it right.
Because I wasn't codding it up.
And also, people may be under the impression you're from London or that you're East End in some way, but it's Ipswich, East Anglia.
Yes, my granny was a true Cockney. He used to embarrass me when I was a snobbish schoolgirl. Meet her in the town. Is your mother out? She'd say, and I'd say, no, Grandma, I think she's at home. You know, terrible.
And did your family approve of you going into acting?
They didn't mind at all, dear. I'd gone off to be in the Wrens, and I was a cinema operator. I was on the other side of the camera. I'm quite good at... Excuse me, I've got a hair somewhere. I was quite good at showing 35mm and 16mm, and, you know, because I used to show the sailors training films of my lovely pilots, you know, landing on aircraft carriers, and a lot of them died in practice, rehearsal, as you might say, because it wasn't very... easy then to land on a pitching ship in the high seas.
And you know, that gets me, that you've had tremendous success and you've been very good at your art, and yet there's been, if I've understood the book correctly, there's a lot of tragedy, there's a lot of love in your life, and there's tragedy in it as well, and heartbreak. How would you sum up the life that you've had?
I think it was a very useful life in a way, because my husband, my second husband, the first person close to him to die was his mother, whereas I was used to death. I know that sounds peculiar, but from a small child, it was a natural thing. And particularly when my grandfather died and lay there in his coffin in the drawing room, and, you know, we'd say, oh, maybe go and look at grandfather, because he looked lovely.
We did that.
Did you?
Yeah, we had to do that, and we had to kiss the forehead. Yes, of the corpse. Ruth always was repulsed by this.
I just can't imagine making a child do that. I just couldn't imagine.
Nobody made us do it.
Yes, you see.
No, well, it was, I say made you, but it was part of your culture and tradition, wasn't it? But also you lost your beloved sister, didn't you? When you were only, what, 7?
I was 7.5, or 4 months. She was 8, and she was 8 and 8 months. We're 4 months apart, and I didn't, you see, you don't know what death is. I didn't know what death was at that age, and I would say, I went to school the next day, and I said to Miss Downing, Marie's died yesterday. Just like that, Marie's died yesterday. It didn't mean anything. And it was only when Christmas came, and apparently I used to write notes, send them up the chimney, don't want any toys this year, I just want Maisie back. And when she didn't come back, that's when I knew what death meant. It meant the person had gone.
Yeah. But there was, I mean, there was obviously a lot of happiness, and I know your sister dying made you probably the person you were and gave you certain traits as regards security and wanting love and family around you. But all the happiness and the character of Dot, when it came about, I mean, it was a life changer, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I was astonished because it had become very popular in a very short time. And there were always masses of people around the gate, autograph hunters, and everywhere we went, and they'd rob your car and you'd be surrounded. I couldn't believe it. I'd been in the theatre. You didn't have that.
June, we've got to stop there. And if you look across the studio, you see it's like a Christmas tree. Leona Lewis's dress. She is so sparkly and beautiful. And this is our last Christmas show before the big day. So we will say goodbye to you. We've got Leona coming up. She's going to sing a Christmas song for us now.
Happy Christmas to you.
And
enjoy your
Christmas
time.
to
Enjoy your
you.
break. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you as well.